While the power and lock button in your iPhone 4 is not essential to you being able to use your phone, it is irritating when it doesn't work. Not being able to save your battery or turn your phone off when you need to gets old quick. So today we're going to go over replacing the power and lock button in your iPhone 4. Hey, it's Gwendolyn with iFixit, and today I'm going to walk you through replacing the power and lock button in your iPhone 4. Remember, this video is just an overview, so be sure to check out our step-by-step guides when you do your repair. Also, if you're going to work on a Verizon phone, the repair is slightly different, so be sure to check out the right guide for the right phone. For this repair, you're going to need an iPhone 5-point pentalobe screwdriver if your iPhone has external pentalobe screws, or a Phillips 000 screwdriver if your iPhone has external Phillips screws. A SIM eject tool, or you can use a paper clip, a Phillips 00 screwdriver, plastic opening tools, 2.5mm flathead screwdriver, spudger, and tweezers. I have all the parts and tools I need in my Pro Tech Toolkit, and it's not listed on the repair guide, but I never do a repair without my magnetic mat. Again, it's magnetic, so none of those little parts will roll away, and it keeps me organized. So let's get started. First, make sure your phone is powered off, but as your power button is broken, you're gonna have to wait until it dies. And then you're gonna get the two screws at the bottom by the dock connector out so that we can open the phone. Okay, with those screws out, now we're gonna take off the back panel. And to do that, you're just gonna push with both thumbs up, and it should come apart like that. And then we can just take it off. Now we can get the battery off. And to do that, we're just gonna get our Phillips driver and unscrew the one screw that's holding on the battery connector. Now we can use our opening tool to pry off the battery connector. And while you're down there, remove the contact clip. Now we can use this tab to get the battery out. And if you're having a little trouble, you can use your opening tool. Now we can take out the SIM card, and to do that, we're gonna use our little SIM ejector tool, and we're gonna poke that in the hole right here on the side, and it pops right out. There we go. Now we can remove the two Phillips screws that are holding on the dock connector bracket. Now that we have those screws off, we can take the bracket off with our fingers, and then we can disconnect that cable from the logic board with your opening tool. With that unstuck, we're going to use the pointy end of our spudger to disconnect the antenna cable right here. Now we can remove 6 screws that are holding the logic board to the rear case. There's 1 at the bottom and there are 5 at the top. And with those screws out, now we can take off the bracket with our fingers and get to work on the rear-facing camera. And to do that, I'm just gonna use my spudger. We're gonna pry up that cable and set it aside. Now that the camera's out, we have 1 screw in the middle of the logic board that's near the pull tab for the battery. If there's a sticker covering it, go ahead and take that off first and then get to work removing the screw. Now we can use the flat end of our spudger to disconnect the 5 cables at the top of the board. Now that all those cables are disconnected, we can attack the last standoff screw with our flathead screwdriver. And that is the last screw. Now we can get our logic board out. But be sure that you're not going to tear any of these cables that we disconnected earlier. And on reassembly, make sure this tiny antenna at the bottom is not underneath the logic board. Now that we have the logic board out, we can take out the front-facing camera. But it is held in place with a bracket, so we're going to use our spudger to pry that off. And there's the bracket, and now we can get to the front-facing camera. Now we can turn our attention to the two screws that are holding on the power and lock button bracket. If your cable is the problem, you can check out the power and sensor cable guide and pick up at step 25. I'll go over those steps right now. Start by pulling the bracket out of the outer case. You can use your tweezers to pull the headphone jack out. Then you can use your plastic opening tool to get the earpiece speaker out of the case. Now you can remove the cable and transfer the power bracket to the new cable. If you're only replacing the button, let's move on to the last couple of steps. Now we can use our fingers to remove the bracket, and then we're going to use our tweezers to remove the button. And there it is. Now you can replace this with your new power and lock button and work backwards on our step-by-step guide to reassemble your phone. You can find all the parts and tools you need for this and many other repairs at iFixit.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all our latest teardowns and repair videos. You can follow us on Twitter at iFixit and give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/iFixit.